welcome to Behind the Crime Door. I do want to give out a disclaimer on this video. The topic is going to be child pornography and the sexual abuse of children. So I do want to let everyone know that this could be a trigger for some, and to possibly not watch the video if it would be something that might trigger you. And with that being said, I'm going to be talking about, was catfishing a possible motive for murder in Delphi? And we're going to cover some of the information. So the sexual abuse and exploitation of children robs those victims of their childhood, and it can irrevocably interfere with their emotional and psychological development and forever, obviously, change their lives. Ensuring that all children come of age without being disturbed by sexual trauma or exploitation is more than a criminal justice issue. It's a social issue, and it's a societal issue. Despite the efforts to date, the threat of child sexual exploitation remains very real, whether it takes place in the home, on the street, over the internet, or in a foreign land. And the things that I learned while researching for this video really was disturbing, and it actually took me quite a while to put this together, because just going over the information was disturbing in itself. The statistics that are out there, I mean, I don't really think I knew how big of a problem this was. I know it's a problem, but I don't think any of us know. It's just the tip of the iceberg, what we do know. So I'm hoping that as we go further into this today, that it'll open some eyes and help people to see that we really, really need to do better at keeping our children safe, and especially online and on the internet. In August of 2010, the U.S. Department of Justice reported to Congress the National Strategy for Child Exploitation Prevention and Interdiction. And this was a huge report, and multifaceted agencies involved in helping to eradicate sexual abuse of children. The threat assessment research indicated that the threat to our nation's children of becoming a victim of child exploitation is a very serious one. For example, the investigators and prosecutors reported dramatic increases in the number and violent characteristics of the sexually abusive images of children being trafficked through the internet. The expansion of the internet has led to an explosion in the market for child pornography, making it easier to create, access, and distribute these images of abuse. While child pornography is the term commonly used by lawmakers, prosecutors, and investigators, and the public to describe this form of sexual exploitation of children, this term largely fails to describe the true horror that is faced by hundreds of thousands of children every year. The child victims are first sexually assaulted in order to produce the vile and often violent images. They are then victimized again when these images of their sexual assault are traded over the internet in massive numbers by like-minded people across the globe. The anonymity afforded by the internet makes these offenders more difficult to locate and makes them bolder in their actions. Investigations show that offenders often gather in communities over the internet where trading of these images is just one component of a larger relationship that is premised on a shared sexual interest in children. This has the effect of eroding the shame that typically would accompany this behavior and desensitizing those involved to the physical and psychological damage caused to the children involved. This self-reinforcing cycle is fueling ever greater demand in the market for these images. In the world of child pornography, this demand drives supply. The individual collector who methodically gathers one image after another has the effect of validating the production of the image, which leads only to more production. Because the internet has blurred traditional notions of jurisdiction and sovereignty, this urgent crime problem is truly global in scope, and it requires a coordinated national and international response. Child predators often use the internet to identify and then coerce their victims to engage in illegal sex acts. These criminals will lurk in chat rooms or on bulletin board websites that are popular with children and teenagers. They will gain the child's confidence and trust and will then direct the conversation to sexual topics. Sometimes they send these children sexually explicit images of themselves, or they may request that the child send them pornographic images of themselves. Often the defendants plan on a face-to-face for the purpose of engaging in sex acts. Child pornography refers to the possession, trading, advertising, and production of images that depict the sexual abuse of children. The term child pornography is used throughout this video because it is the legal and accepted term for images of child sexual abuse. However, many experts in the field believe that the use of this term contributes to a fundamental misunderstanding of the crime, one that focuses on the possession or trading of a picture and leaves the impression that what is depicted in the photograph is pornography. Child pornography is unrelated to adult pornography. It clearly involves the criminal depiction and memorializing of the sexual assault of a child and the criminal sharing, collecting, and marketing of the images. The internet and advances in digital technology have provided fertile ground for offenders to obtain child pornography, share child pornography, produce child pornography, advertise child pornography, and sell child pornography. The internet also has allowed offenders to form online communities with global membership, not only to facilitate the trading and collection of these images, but also to facilitate contact with each other and children, and to create support networks among offenders. The tools we have to monitor the trading of child pornography on the internet work on some of the most widely used computer file sharing clients. There is a file trading traffic, some of it presumably child pornography, on other peer-to-peer file sharing applications that are not accounted for by these tools. Beyond peer-to-peer file sharing tools, child pornography is traded over the internet via email applications, chat rooms, IRC, website downloads, and other social media applications. These forms of child pornography trading are not included in the counts from Operation Fair Play and Roundup. One investigation revealed that offenders would congregate with like-minded people on the internet and sometimes encourage each other to act out their fantasies and share proof. Some researchers suggest that viewing child pornography desensitizes the viewer and may reduce inhibitions, increasing the risk that the child pornography offender might engage in a contact offense against a minor. Technology has increased the production and distribution of child pornography and is being utilized extensively by pornographers to help avoid being caught. For example, offenders often connect to the internet using free Wi-Fi, a wireless system at public access points, or connect to unsecured wireless routers installed in private residences rather than accessing internet sites from their personal internet accounts. Offenders also use anonymizers, which is software applications that enable them to access the internet while hiding the source computer's identifying information. In many instances, offenders hide their actual internet protocol or IP addresses by using proxy servers. Even when offenders do not employ these measures, often identifying information through IP addresses is not retained for long periods by internet service providers, which unintentionally provides anonymity to these offenders. Online offenders use the internet to entice and manipulate children into situations in which they become vulnerable to sexual exploitation, particularly child pornography, sexual contact, and abduction. Since the inception of the Child Abduction Rapid Deployment, or CARD, teams in October of 2005, the FBI has developed 10 CARD teams to combat this risk by aiding state and local law enforcement in child abduction investigations. 64% of non-family abduction deployments have resulted in the child victim being sexually victimized by their abductor. Moreover, in 36% of non-family abductions, the child victim was murdered by their abductor. Online enticement complaints are increasing, and they're drawing more local law enforcement resources into complex and time-consuming investigations. Online predators demonstrate great patience in manipulating children into vulnerable situations. The FBI recently opened a new facility which is dedicated exclusively to the forensic analysis of digital evidence in the most significant child exploitation cases nationwide, and conducts research in support of the investigative and forensic operations for IINI. The facility is located in Linthicum, Maryland, and is a cooperative effort between the Cyber Division, Innocent Images National Initiative, and the Operational Technology Division's Computer Analysis Response Team, or CART. The facility was formed to address the growing need for dedicated resources in the area of computer forensic analysis for child exploitation investigations. The dedication of the facility to a specific mission allows for examiners to specialize in this discipline and provide detailed content analysis to investigators. The facility supports forensic examination services on a wide variety of operating system platforms, as well as other forms of digital media, including digital cameras and cell phones. With all of this knowledge and taking it into consideration when we look at the Abby and Libby case and what happened to them, is it possible that Abby and Libby were victims of a catfishing attempt? With recent developments in this case surrounding Kagan Anthony Klein, it is highly possible that they were. There are so many questions that are presented, however. Did Libby figure out what was happening and threaten to go to the police? The rumor from the early days in the investigation after the murders from her friends was that she was going to go to the police about something, and she had talked to them about it. If this rumor is valid and truthful, and she was hoping to expose someone, could this be the motive for her murder? There may have been a time when these questions would have been answered unequivocally no, over and over again. But until recently, we were led to believe that nothing of the sort took place. Law enforcement told us that there was no catfishing. Family members told us there was no catfishing. Family members said the girls were not speaking to anyone online. They said this over and over again. So, with what we know now, we know that's not 100% accurate. We know that Kagan Anthony Klein had liked a few of Libby's photos on Instagram using the profile Anthony Shots. So, was Keegan Anthony Klein file sharing with Bridge Guy? Is that a possibility? Did he inadvertently reveal her information to him? Did he do it on purpose? Doug Carter has assured us that they have a story to tell us and that one day they hope to be able to. He also recently said persistent pressure pays off. Is Bridge Guy's days numbered? Are they coming for him soon? Time will tell. Well, friends, that is all for today. I want to thank you for joining me for this video and for subscribing and liking the video for Behind the Crime Door. Once you do that, you will be notified when I drop all of my videos, and I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for listening and watching. And as always, be safe out there, and until next time, talk to you later.